Hey runners, one of the most common questions I get asked is, how often should I run? Well, of course, it depends. It depends on what your running goals are and what you're willing to commit to on a weekly basis, because in running and fitness, consistency really matters. Hi, I'm Herb the Forever Runner. I'm a heart attack survivor, author, and coach. And I help older runners effortlessly run faster without pain and injury as they get older using my unique Forever Runner method. So let's get into how often you should be running. So all this is predicated on a couple things. One is the intensity of your runs. Second, the duration of your runs. And then we can talk about the frequency or how often you run. So by intensity, what I'm talking about when you go out for your normal weekly run is how hard or how fast you're running. And the biggest mistake I see with most runners, and especially older runners, is we're running too fast at a too high of a heart rate. So if you follow me at all, you know I'm a stickler for low heart rate training for a couple of big benefits. Number one, it's the best way to build your aerobic capacity, that strong base that keeps you going like a diesel engine on your runs. And second of all, it's the easiest way to enjoy running as you get older without being worried about injuries, because most injuries are caused by overtraining, overuse, running too hard. So the very first thing before we have this conversation is I need you to commit to a regime of low heart rate training, because then everything else just falls into place. So the second is the duration part. And what this means is when you go out for a run, how long do you run for, or how many miles? So I like to talk in time rather than miles. So kind of the minimum amount or the minimum amount of running is like 30 minutes, and probably the sweet spot for how long your daily run should be is probably between 30 to 45 minutes. Can it be shorter? Can it be longer? Sure, but that's probably the best sweet spot to be in to actually reap some benefits from your running. The other thing is, if you like to do long runs, I would caution you on being out there too long. Essentially, any time on your feet after 2 hours on a long run, you're not really gaining that much benefit unless you're specifically in training for a longer event. So sure, if you're in your marathon training phase, you're going to have some 3-hour runs, or if you're training for an ultra, you're going to have some 3-hour runs, let's say. But when we're talking about either in your base training phase or just running per se, try and keep those long runs under 2 hours, and you'll get the most bang for your buck that way. So then we get to is, how often should I really run? Well, like I said before, it kind of depends on your running goals and what you're after. If you're just out there to kind of keep in shape and you're not competitive, or you're not you're not trying to specifically build capacity, then if you run 2 to 3 times a week, in that 30-minute to 60-minute range, and at a very low, easy pace, talking pace, zone 2 space, then you'll probably be fine. If however you want to actually improve your aerobic capacity, if you're building up a base for running an event at any length, then kind of the sweet spot is that 4 to 5 times a week, and that usually involves a long run as one of those runs. And that's by getting out there 4 to 5 times a week, that builds that consistency that you need to make you a more efficient runner, and to give time for all those metabolic changes to happen over time, because this is a slow build process to build your aerobic capacity. So then what about just running every day? That can be good too, but when you run every day, then you run into having to pay more attention to your stress and recovery needs. Again, if you're running too fast every day, you're just going to set yourself up for trouble, and that's why it's good to have a rest day, 1 or 2 rest days, especially for older runners. That's very important. Or at a minimum, every 4th week, just cut the mileage down considerably, like by half, to give you a recovery week. So you can run 7 days a week, but be very careful, because you're not a spring chicken anymore, and we want to make sure that you remain uninjured so you can enjoy this running lifestyle as you get older. So to summarize, here's what I suggest. If there's kind of 2 situations. If you're already where you want to be, and you're kind of short on time, running 2 or 3 times a week works just great. But if you actually want to build aerobic capacity, build a strong base, to do other things like events or whatever, then I strongly recommend 4 or 5 times a week, with one of those runs being a longer run. So if you are interested in how to actually get this done for you personally, feel free to connect up with me. I'd be happy to have a chat with you and show you how my Forever Runner method can help you keep running and enjoying this wonderful running lifestyle as you get older, without having to worry about pain or injury. See you in the next one.